We're going to start the readings for the 12 signs. And of course, we're going to start with my sweet, dear fellow Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Wow, that was a lot. So, Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising, you are going to have the full moon in Capricorn in your 10th house. And the 10th house, of course, resembles career, your public image, your social status, also your life direction, and people in authority figures. So it's a very powerful culmination point in your professional journey. And think about the seeds that you've planted on January when we had the new moon in Capricorn this year. So you might be wrapping up a project, or some promotion is going to come forward from this full moon, or you can also reevaluate your long-term goals. And with Saturn, the 10th house ruler, is going to retrograde in your sign, of course, so that can be quite hard, not going to lie. There's a karmic emphasis on whether your current public role still aligns with your evolving sense of self. It happens in your sign. It's about your identity, especially if you're an Aries rising. If you're an Aries sun, the sun is about the father, and it's also about career. So there can be a double emphasis when you're an Aries sun. So success is possible, but so is burnout. Mars, your ruling planet, is of course in the 6th house of Virgo. So might need to take some extra rest. Your daily routine can be very much on fire, and if you focus too much on productivity, too much on problem solving, then there can be some conflicts happening in that. So can also trigger some conflict in over-analysis, especially near the 20th of July with the conjunction of the South Node. So yeah, really a time to cut out toxic work dynamics. And I think some Aries rising with Mars in Virgo are going to see some colleagues that quit, or colleagues that get fired, or some layoffs in regards to work or your profession or your business if you're self-employed. So yeah, act thoughtfully. Then we are gonna have a new moon in the 5th house in the sign of Leo, and this one is gonna oppose Pluto and Aquarius in your 11th house. So the new moon in Leo in the 5th is about creativity, joy, romance, children, and it's a fresh start. And it's encouraging you to plant seeds in regards to your passion, your children, romance, dating. It's an invitation to fall back in love with life. So set intentions around artistic work, creativity, and the lunation trines Saturn and Neptune in your 1st. So yeah, it's more than lighthearted fun. It's about creatively expressing your soul's evolution. However, because it opposes Pluto in the 11th, this suggests that there's tension between your personal joy and group dynamics. So don't dim your light to fit in, and especially at work with the Capricorn full moon that is happening in the 10th 2 weeks before this. Definitely can be about toxic group environments at work and something that is getting transformed in that. We're also going to see a Mercury retrograde happening in your 5th house. It's going to start on July 17th. And it's an invitation to reflect deeply on your creative projects, on your romantic life, and whatever your heart truly wants. So be mindful of miscommunications with children, with creative collaborators, and also don't launch major projects until after the retrograde, and that's going to end mid-August. Use this period to really recalibrate your joy and also how you express your voice authentically. So good luck, my dear Aries. We have Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have a full moon in Capricorn, and it's going to happen in your 9th house. And the 9th house is about travel, especially long-distance travel, beliefs, education, and also publishing. So it's going to bring a major culmination point to matters about teaching, mentorship, long-distance journey, and also your legal affairs, and also your mindset. The 9th house is especially about your mindset. Some of you are going to complete a course or going to start planning some travel. It can also be a shift in your world view. And you're lucky because this full moon is going to trine your Taurus placement. So it's giving a supportive energy. Just know that Saturn is going to go retrograde. Saturn is, of course, the ruler of this full moon, and it's going to go retrograde in your 12th house. So there's definitely still a layer of spiritual integration happening behind the scenes. So maybe it might feel like you're closing one chapter, definitely in regards to your belief system, to make more room for a more soul-aligned direction forward. And your whole future can shift with this full moon. So trust your intuition, even if you can't see it, where all things are leading right now. Then your chart ruler, Venus, is gonna enter Gemini on the 4th of July. So, and it's happening in your 2nd house of income and also self-worth and personal resources. So in the beginning of the month of July, Venus and Uranus are going to be conjunct of each other, and it's going to happen at the cusp of your 2nd house. So there can be a huge boost or a huge surprise, huge shock in regards to your finances. So it can also be a shock in your self-esteem or in your resources. And it's going to help you align with your material world and balancing it out with your inner worth. So be mindful of scattered spending or overspending or some overindulgence and pretty things that don't really serve your long-term goals. So be mindful of your expenses during this time. Then you're going to have a new moon happening in the sign of Leo in your 4th house. And yeah, the 4th house is, of course, home, family, also your emotional foundation. So yeah, set intentions that are related to where and how you live and how you want to live in the future. And also, yeah, some of you are going to move, going to renovate, or have a look at deeper commitments to healing family dynamics. So yeah, reconnect to your roots. You can do that with more confidence and pride. But it's opposite Pluto in your 10th house. So yeah, it's going to bring tension with bosses, with your public role, can be with a parental figure. And just know that it's okay to reclaim power over your own private life, even if it challenges external expectations. And this gets enhanced because Mercury is going to retrograde on July 17th into your 4th house. And it's going to trigger a rethinking or a re-evaluation in regards to home, family, property, and also emotional security and what that means for you. And also, while Mercury rules your 2nd house of money and also your 5th house, your 5th house of children and creativity, all these things are going to come to the forefront. And with Mars there, something is going to get released in the 5th house. So something that got born, will now see in some kind of ending or something gets released in regards to love and children and creativity. Or a passion project from the past returns into your life and you finish it. Or you start anew with this new moon, especially from home while doing that. So Venus is, of course, your chart ruler, and it spends most of the entire month of July in your 2nd house. So finances and value systems are strongly in focus. Can be about buying furniture or making some home-related investments, but wait with all of that until after mid-August, whenever the retrograde ends. So does your home and life truly support your values and your growth during the month of July? And I wish you good luck, Taurus. Then we have Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have the full moon in Capricorn in your 8th house. So the 8th house is about shared finances, deep, real intimacy, psychological transformation, depth of the psyche. It's also very an occult house. So it's going to bring something hidden to light, for sure. So it could be related to taxes, debt, joint finances, investments, can also be about inheritance. But you see the moon in the 8th and the sun and Jupiter in the 2nd. The 2nd and the 8th, it is the give and take axis. It can be energetically, emotionally, psychologically. sexually, all these things are going to come into major focus with the full moon in Capricorn. So the ruler of this full moon is, of course, Saturn, and it's going to station retrograde 2 days after this full moon in your 11th house. So think about themes around group involvement, support systems, and also long-term financial goals. All these things might be in flux. Just know that, yeah, it's going to bring you a realization. It can be about an epiphany in the 8th house. Things that you've repressed are now coming to the light. So realization that you're financially or emotionally entangled in something that actually no longer serves you. So a very powerful time to release dependencies and also face buried fears. The 8th house is a very deep house. It is a very occult house. It's about the entanglements on all deep levels in life. The 8th house is about who pays for what. The 8th house is about how much do I bring to the table? How much does my wife or husband bring to the table? How much sex do we have with each other? It's all part of the 8th house. So very, very intense house, the 8th. So yeah, just know that this happens so you can create more autonomy in both your wallet and into your heart. Also know that Mars is currently traveling into the sign of Virgo, and it's in your 4th house, and it's going to conjunct the South Node this month. And Mars is going to square you by sign, so it's going to create some tension for sure. Mars transiting your 4th house of home, roots, family. It's going to stir up some action and possibly tension in your living space. Some are going to move. Mars is our passion, our drive, our energy, and this now gets projected into the 4th house. So some are going to move, some are going to renovate, others are going to confront family dynamics, and it might not be a lot of fun whenever Mars is going to conjunct the South Node in the last week of July. Just know that the energy can be productive. It's ideal for decluttering, for organizing, or for tackling some domestic projects. But it can also escalate quite quickly into conflict if some old grievances bubble back to the surface. Definitely with the South Node conjunction on July 20th, Mars then hitting the eclipse degree on July 26th. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, rewind and check the transits for the month of July, because this is going to be a very crucial and pivotal time. And for you, it's happening in the 4th house. It is the emotional foundation of the chart. It rules home. It's where you feel safe, nurtured, feel seen, heard, loved, safe. Mars can create a lot of tension and problems in that area. Definitely last week of July. So yeah, some Geminis are definitely gonna let go of some inherited family patterns or literal belongings that are energetically blocking your next move. So let go of the past to make space so you can settle and create some new fresh roots in that area. The South Node is what gets released from our life. Then we have a new moon for my Geminis, and that's gonna happen into the 3rd house. And the 3rd is about communication, learning, your immediate environment, your siblings. It can be about short-term trips. It can also be about technology and how you connect with other people. And this is offering you a chance to reinvent how you speak, how you write, and how you connect. So ideally for starting new writing projects, for launching a podcast or a blog, or learning some new skill. Also can be an update in how you interact with your local environment, or maybe you're going to bump into your neighbors more often. That is something that can happen. But this lunation is going to oppose Pluto in your 9th. Pluto in the 9th is creating a lot of tension in your belief systems. Pluto in the 9th can also be about legal issues. Also about ideological power structures that may interfere with your mental clarity. The 3rd house is the house of the mind. It is traditionally part of Gemini. Gemini in traditional astrology is the third house. So it is a very, very familiar house for you, the third. Very important for you, the third house. So just know that the way forward is through curiosity and not through control. Let your mind expand through authentic expression, even if it disrupts others' expectations. And that can literally end up in a legal battle here. But it does not necessarily have to be like this for everyone. Then Mercury, which is your chart ruler, very, very important month for you, Gemini. This month is going to create a lot of change. Because your chart ruler Mercury goes retrograde in your third house from July 17th onwards for 3 weeks. This one is very personal, even more personal, because at the beginning of the month on July 7th, Uranus enters your sign. It's going to create a lot of inevitable change. So yeah, really calm down the nervous system. It's going to be necessary for you in July. And Mercury retrograde in the third house, it amplifies the energy of Mercury, because traditionally the third house is a Gemini house. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury traditionally belongs into the third house. So the fact that you as a Gemini have a Mercury retrograde in your third house, it just amplifies everything. And you have Uranus entering your sign. Oh my God, Geminis, I would say, like, brace yourselves. If you're normal, a very stable Gemini, that might change. So Mercury, of course, rules your first house, your identity, but also your fourth house, because Mercury belongs to Gemini and Virgo. It has dual rulership, Mercury. And yeah, so the retrograde is not only gonna impact your relationships with your immediate environment. You're also going to experience miscommunication. You can have tech glitches, so make sure you have a backup. If you are going to travel during this time, you're going to have travel delays for sure during this time. And it can also manifest in misunderstandings with siblings and neighbors. So from July 17 onward for 3 weeks. But because Mercury also rules you and your first house and also the fourth house, expect that this retrograde is also going to ripple all across your identity and also your home life as well. So not the time to rush to decisions about moves, about vehicles. Like Gemini, don't buy a new car during this time. You're going to have problems with the tech inside of the car. So some of them, Geminis, are going to have problems on the road. They're going to be blocked on the road, or their car breaks down and you need to go to the garage or something like that. So that can happen as well. Just reflect on how you communicate, or how your communication really shapes your reality and your habits. So revisit, retrace conversation, and also reconsider how your voice is being received. And especially around emotional or domestic topics. This is actually your cue to rewrite your story, and you're going to do that anyway with Uranus entering your sign soon. So good luck, my dear Gemini. This is a very, very important month for you. Then we have Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What's up, dear Cancer? How are you doing now that Jupiter has entered your sign? And in the beginning of July, you're going to have a new moon, a full moon in Capricorn in your 7th house. So the full moon is at an 80 degrees of Capricorn. It is actually a Virgo degree, and it's going to light up your 7th house of committed relationships. So the fact that it's at a Virgo degree and it happens in the 7th house and it's a full moon, you can be a little bit more critical of your relationships during this time. And some burdens are going to feel heavy on your shoulders, and some of you are going to want to release something in that. So the 7th is about contracts as well, partnerships on all levels, business, romantic. So yeah, really bringing key relationship developments to the surface. And some are going to be solidifying, redefining, or ending a certain connection. Full moon is about ending and closure. So this lunation is, of course, ruled by Saturn, and it's going to go retrograde 2 days after this full moon in your 10th house. Themes of status, career, professional identity, self-employment, your own business, all these things are very closely linked towards each other. So the emotional intensity might really spike, and if personal needs clash with long-term ambitions or responsibilities to other people. And for some, this could mark some are gonna have a proposal, others are gonna want to marry, and some are gonna want to end a contractual relationship. So yeah, balance between public roles and private emotional truths become very, very essential right now. And of course, your chart ruler is the moon because you're Cancer rising. So lunations are always deeply personal and also very, very defining for you. And this month, full moon in Capricorn, because it's opposite your sign, it really calls a lot of attention to external commitments and also how you reflect your inner emotional needs and how others respond to that. And of course, Jupiter is now transiting your first house. So it's about your confidence, your visibility, and your optimism. And all these things are on the rise. So that's very positive. A very powerful year-long chapter of personal expansion, and also where the universe asks you to take up more space, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Be careful about gaining a few extra pounds. That tends to happen when Jupiter enters your sign. So during the full moon opposite your sign, Capricorn, Jupiter is going to help you see relationships more clearly by helping you understand your own worth and also your full potential. So Jupiter is going to bless your sense of self. So you're less likely to settle for unequal dynamics, and you're more likely to attract partnerships that really reflect your growth, your values, and also your emotional truths. So this transit is softening the harder edges of Capricorn, and Capricorn is about realism, reality, and boundaries, and responsibility, commitment. But Jupiter is adding a lot of hope and warmth to that. So you're not who you were a year ago, and the people you choose to walk beside now should also reflect that. So good luck. And then we have the new moon in Cancer, and the new moon is going to happen on July the 24th. And it's going to fall in your second house of income, resources, values. And this is a powerful opportunity to restructure your financial life. Second house is about what comes in, so you can have food, so you can have a house, buy some things, all the necessary things in life. So set goals around money or money management and also investments. Second house is also self-esteem. And plant seeds of abundance. And it trines Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house, but they're going to go retrograde, and they're going to help you align career goals with financial stability and have spiritual meaning in that as well. But there's an opposition to Pluto in the 8th house, and it's going to reveal power struggles or financial entanglements with others. Think about debts, loans, shared resources, and the message is that you can't control everything, but you can take control of your own response and your own self-worth. Then we also see Mercury retrograde in your second house of money. So that's going to start on July the 17th, and it's going to trigger reviews and revisions around money, income, and material stability. There can be budget changes, there can be delayed payments, or some miscommunications about money. So take that into account. And avoid major purchases until the mid of August, if that's possible, because then the Mercury retrograde will be over. So Mercury also rules your 3rd and your 12th house. So can be about hidden information, can be about rewiring subconscious beliefs about money, or also can be about financial news involving siblings, can also be about finances in regards to travel or vehicles. This is a chance to clear outdated money patterns and totally rewrite your story of self-worth. So listen to your intuition, especially in your dreams. And I know as a Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising, you can be quite psychic. So be open to the spiritual guidance in reshaping your material world. And I wish you the best of luck, my dear Cancer. Then we have Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're gonna have the full moon in Capricorn into your 6th house. And the 6th house is actually traditionally a Virgo house. And the full moon is at 18 degrees. And 18 degrees is a Virgo degree. So the 6th house is about work, health, daily habits, and also your routines. And it's going to bring a lot of attention to what needs structure, discipline, or what needs to be released. And the best thing you can release is a too high amount of stress whenever it happens in the 6th house. The 6th house is about details, overanalyzing, stressing a little bit. It's all part of the 6th. So be careful about your health. If you have been dealing with a health issue, something can be released in that. That is the positive side of this full moon. So, and the ruler of this full moon is, of course, Saturn, and it's going to station retrograde in your 9th house 2 days after this full moon. So, 9th house is about beliefs, futuristic goals, visions, your worldview, and it asks you, are your daily choices aligned with your higher beliefs or your educational goals? And it might be time to shift your schedule to support spiritual study and travel and more meaningful work. And stress or overworking could also reveal itself somatically during this time. So take care of your body and avoid overcommitting. It is really a call to honor your time and energy with more integrity. And of course, your chart ruler is the sun. The sun belongs to Leo, and it's gonna enter your 1st house on the 22nd of July, and that is when Leo season officially is gonna start. So happy birthday to all my Leo, Sun, Moon, or Risings. No, I meant Leo Sun, of course. I'm just so used to saying like all 3 of them. That's funny. But when the sun enters your 1st house, it's going to give you a lot of renewed energy, more visibility, and also more confidence. So yeah, your time to shine, to reclaim your identity, and also make your presence known. But I'm sure people know whenever you walk into a room. And then the new moon in Leo, we're going to look because, yeah, this is your new moon. Of course, so yeah, this is your big reset of the entire year. And yeah, it's about a new look because it happens in your sign, a new story, a new energy that is going to come forward. And with so many planets now in your sign and in your house of sense of self, you're really being invited to reintroduce yourself on your own terms. An ideal time to set new intentions around self-confidence, around a new identity, and also around your physical appearance and maybe taking on a new type of leadership, a role of leadership, a leadership role, my God. Okay, so however, just know that Pluto is making an opposition from the 7th house, and it might bring some confrontations with others who resist your evolution. Same for Aquarius rising, Aquarius Sun, Moon, or Rising. They have a chart vice versa than yours. So yeah, reflect on unhealed patterns that you are ready to break, and let this be your initiation into sovereignty. Define your worth independently of outer validation, and you're not here to perform, you're here to radiate. And then another important thing that's happening is, of course, Mercury retrograde, and it's going to start from July the 17th. And it's happening in your sign. So a lot is happening for Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising this month. 1st house is, of course, a deep reflection on how you express yourself, how you're seen, what you value, and also be cautious of impulsive decisions about your appearance. Don't do it starting from July the 17th until 3 weeks onward. Don't make any changes in your appearance. Wait until the retrograde is over. Also be mindful of large purchases because Mercury rules your 2nd house. There is a Mars South Node conjunction in your 2nd house, which means something might break and you might need to spend a lot of money or a lot of unexpected money in regards to your finances. There can be big expenses coming up, something connected to the past, something of your money gets released with South Node Mars conjunction. So yeah. Mercury also rules your second and your 11th house, so not only the second but also the 11th, and it's gonna stir up some issues around money, self-worth, but also friendships. Some are gonna feel misunderstood or might second guess their value in social spaces, but it's a necessary recalibration. Just know that the Mercury Cazimi on July the 31st is going to offer a moment of clarity, can also offer a moment of empowerment and integration. And it's going to reveal the deeper truth about who you are becoming and what that version of you truly looks like and also deserves. So, yeah, very, very big reset for you on the new moon, my dear Leo. And I wish you the best of luck. Virgo, sun, moon, or rising, you're gonna have the full moon in Capricorn happening in your fifth house of creativity, romance, children, and the house of joy. So, a significant moment of expression, celebration, or a culmination in one of these areas. So, if you've been working on a creative project, if you've been dating someone, or if you've been navigating some matters involving your children, then this lunation brings clarity or a big turning point. And with the support from Mars in Virgo, you're gonna feel passionate and purposeful, ready to ground your vision into something real. And the moon's ruler, this full moon's ruler, Saturn, is going to go retrograde into your 8th house, and it's going to add a lot of emotional depth, and it's going to prompt some serious consideration around how much you're investing, emotionally, financially, or energetically. So, and into what you love. So, take a moment to heal the inner child through joy, play, or romance is also highlighted right now. And then, of course, your chart ruler Mercury is going to station retrograde on July the 17th. It's going to do that into your 12th house. It's going to initiate a deeply introspective cycle that continues through early August. So, very important month for Virgo risings. Mars is in your sign. We have a Mercury retrograde in the 12th house, but luckily you have full moon in the 5th house of joy. It's going to balance things a bit out. Just know that there's a very, very deeply introspective cycle that will be started on the 17th of July, and it will continue all the way through early, middle August. So the Mercury retrograde in the 12th house, your chart ruler in the house of spirituality, going backwards, is going to draw your focus inwards, towards your subconscious, towards your sleep, your dreams, towards unprocessed emotional material, and the signs you are now receiving through your dreams can be very, very significant. I can tell you as a Virgo rising. So it's a spiritual reset. It's going to encourage you to pause, to rest, to reflect, and to detach from all the external noise. And take care of your health, my dear fellow Virgo rising. You're under a lot of pressure with Mars in your sign. It's going to conjunct the South Node. If you're a late Virgo rising, as myself, you're currently having Mars traveling through your 12th house in the Placidus chart, and that also portrays towards rest and wanting silence and just having to retreat so you can draw up your strength. Take extra care towards your health, especially mental health, but also physical health. It's a very, very big spiritual reset that we're going through right now. So pause and rest and cancel the noise. Mercury retrograde in the 12th. Mercury also rules your 1st and also your 10th house. Meaning, it's a period that's going to prompt reconsideration of your public path, your health, and also your personal identity. with Venus conjunct Uranus on top of the chart, something shockingly, surprisingly, unexpectedly can happen in your career or in your reputation. Of course, Uranus is gonna start squaring you by sign since July the 7th, when Uranus makes its shift into Gemini. So yeah, reconsideration of your public path, health, personal identity, a lot of important things are gonna come into focus. Watch out, watch out, watch out for burnout. Watch out for thick misfires, especially at work. Make a backup from all your files. The 12th house is a house where things get dissolved. With Mercury going retrograde, your chart ruler, into the 12th house of loss, you can lose files, miscommunications, lean into journaling, therapy, dream work, or silent retreats. Really not a time to push forward. It is a time to clear karmic depth and also recharge your nervous system. That is extremely, extremely important. So because you're Virgo rising and because Mars is happening in your sign right now or transiting in your sign, don't overanalyze, don't burn out on the little details, make space and room for fun, and don't be a Virgo rising as myself, where you're only allowed to have fun whenever you get your ducks in a row. That's not necessary, my dear Virgo. We can have fun when things are not going as well as we would like, because we are about perfectionism and we would like to have everything going our way sometimes, because we think it's the best way, but the best way is actually letting go of control and having some time for fun, even though not everything is on the right track right now. So don't worry, just know that it's normal. Take some time for rest. Definitely. Then we have a new moon happening into our 12th house of Leo, and it's going to happen on July the 24th. And a new moon in the 12th house activating a need to reset on a very spiritual and psychological level. So set intentions again related to rest, solitude, creativity behind the scenes, and even private healing work. Just know that this donation is going to oppose Pluto in your sixth. That's why I've been going on and on about the health aspect, because this is going to highlight tension between your inner world and your daily responsibilities, and they're going to clash big time. So you're being asked to prioritize rest and emotional detox while managing these ongoing stressors, especially with Mars conjunct South Node in your sign of Virgo. So it will be about health, it will be about work demands, and the message is you don't need to do it all alone. Let go of the hyper productivity and also reclaim parts of your energy that have been on autopilot, because that's how you burn out. We need to reconnect with spirit with the new moon in the 12th, and we need to trust our inner wisdom to guide us towards the next step. We do not trust the autopilot, because they run us into a canyon or a cliff that was looking for. Of course, so on July the 26th, very important, even from July 20th onward towards the 26th of July, Mars is gonna activate the eclipse degree that happened on the 14th of March. Then we had an eclipse into the sign of Virgo at 23 degrees. And on the 26th of July, Mars is gonna conjunct that eclipse degree again. So yeah, a highly charged moment of personal reckoning. You're shedding all the layers of identity, of appearance, and you need to reclaim your authority. It's not a time to act impulsively. Mars is very hot, but with the South Node, it can burn out, it can overreact, it can create a lot of tension, especially in your health, but also in regards to work. So yeah, I think we need to reflect on what happened during March, because the eclipse revealed a lot about our body, our goals and our individuality. And Mercury retrograde ties all of this together. The transformation is really happening from the inside out, and you're not meant to keep hustling, keep pushing, keep burning out. You're really meant to heal and rebirth your identity with a lot of intention. So some are going to experience some co-workers quitting, getting fired, layoffs at work, are all possible. Luckily, Venus is traveling through your 10th, even though it squares Mars. Yeah, there can definitely be some tensions at work, things that are in conflict with your new identity. And you're going to need to blow off some steam. Yeah, Mars conjunct the South Node can be quite dramatic, to be honest. So retreat, meditate, journal, rest, relax. Don't worry, Virgo. I know you do that best, but we might need to let something big go. Otherwise, it's going to have a very, very negative effect on our health. So good luck, my fellow Virgo risings. Then we have Libra, sun, moon, or rising. You're going to have the full moon in Capricorn happening in your 4th house. So full moons are culminations. 4th house is home, family, roots, and also emotional foundations. Bringing up matters around the living space, family dynamics, also ancestral patterns. And the lunation, of course, squares you by sign. It's going to create some inner tension between the demands of your public life and also the need for emotional grounding and security. And for some, it's going to mark a relocation, for others a breakthrough with a family member or the emotional closure of a past chapter. Saturn rules this full moon and it's retrograde in your 7th house. There will also be some discussions with a partner about living together, boundaries in that, long-term support. A lot of pressure on the structure of your private life in a way that really supports long-term stability. So just know that that's coming up for you during this full moon. Then your chart ruler, Venus, is actually traveling in the 9th house. It's going to make a conjunction with Uranus. Uranus is going to enter your 9th house as well on the 7th of July. And then a week before that, Venus is going to conjunct it. So yeah, some surprises in your beliefs or in publishing or in releasing something. It's also 9th house is travel, higher learning, teaching, publishing, spiritual awakening, your belief system, your view on the future, your view on the world, and something might get shocked in that. With Uranus entering the 9th house on the 7th of July. So you're actually really expanding your worldview and also craving connections through experience of soulful growth. But on July the 23rd, Venus is going to square Mars in your 12th. So it's going to bring some hidden tensions to the surface. And the square is going to challenge you to confront subconscious resistance, some fears, some suppressed desires that actually stand in the way of your personal growth. So you might feel a bit torn between your idealistic visions and your internal doubts. Or you could experience some conflict in relationships that are rooted in cultural or philosophical differences. But it's a powerful time to unearth and release these limiting beliefs, especially those who have been quietly sabotaging your path along the way. And by the end of the month, as Venus enters Cancers and it's going to enter your 10th house, your attention shifts from towards career visibility and also nurturing your public presence with more emotional authenticity. Then we have a new moon for Libra, and that is going to happen in your 11th house. And the 11th is about friendships, social circles, communities, and also your long-term goals. And it's going to prompt this whole new fresh chapter in how you relate to groups and also how you contribute to collective movements. So yeah, a very good time to set intentions for networking, launching something in your community, redefining your social aspirations. But the new moon opposes Pluto in your 5th. It's going to bring up tension between your creative independence and the expectation of your social circles, or tension between your lover and your friends. There could be some jealousy, there could be some power struggles, or some insights about your role and group dynamics. And maybe some toxicity is going to be revealed in that. So really use the donation to step into leadership roles, but stay anchored in your authenticity. You don't have to sacrifice your joy to be accepted in group endeavors. We also see Mercury retrograde happening in Leo, also in your 11th house. It's going to start on July the 17th. So there's a big reevaluation of your friendships, group memberships, your social goals. There can be some miscommunications within a friend group or some online communities. You can see miscommunication, and you could also hear from people that you've lost touch with. So old friends returning to you, which is very positive. And Mercury, of course, rules your 9th and your 12th house, so there might also be spiritual revelations connected to friends or some old ideas or beliefs that resurface that you might need to rework on, or also some travel or educational plan might need some revisiting and some details might be changed up. Then Mercury, of course, also links to Mars in the 12th, and this adds a hidden layer. Secrets might be revealed, or unspoken resentments may also come to light. And instead of reacting, really use this period to observe and reflect. Your intuition is razor sharp right now, and any tensions in social spaces are really helping you clear out what no longer serves your path forward. So let me know what happens, my dear Libra, and I wish you the best of luck. We have Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have the full moon in Capricorn, and it's going to happen into your 3rd house of communication, learning, short trips, siblings, neighbors, and your immediate environment. So it's going to bring a pivotal culmination around contracts, discussions, local matters, things that you've written, and it really supports grounded expression. But it's also going to reveal how your daily mental routines need more structure and clarity. So something that you've been thinking about or working towards behind the scenes, perhaps involving your neighborhood, can be a written project, can even be about transportation or signing contracts in the 3rd house. Now it might reach a conclusion. And Saturn is the ruler of this lunation, and it retrogrades through your 6th house. So yeah, it's asking you to consider how your communication patterns are impacting your health, how your communication impacts your work and your work efficiency in general, and also your ability to stay grounded in reality. So the way you speak, share, or even commute could shift now in the response to a deeper desire for practical alignment. Mars is, of course, in Virgo, and yeah, it's in your 11th house. It's energizing your networks, goals, and friendships, but on the 20th of July, Mars is going to conjunct the South Node. And on July 26th, it's going to activate the March eclipse degree. So this transit can signal a lot of endings, revelations, and also releases within your social sphere. So think back to what happened around the middle of March this year. And whether you're confronting betrayal or detaching more from old circles, or maybe you're burning out on a group project, this month really asks you to push you in where allies are real, to ask yourself which allies, alliances are real, and which one are draining my energy. Meanwhile, Pluto continues to go retrograde in Aquarius, tearing down these long-held emotional patterns that are related to your family, your private life, and your emotional security. And we're now going to look at the new moon because it's going to oppose Pluto. My God. So your ruler is going to oppose the new moon in Leo. So it's gonna happen in your 10th house. It's a once a year chance or time period to reinvent your career, your public image, and also your life direction. So it's time to plant seeds for recognition, for leadership, or there can also be a bold shift happening in your professional world. But because this donation opposes Pluto in your fourth, it's really going to ignite conflict between your private life and your ambition. So some family matters, some emotional burden, or some inner transformation might weigh heavily as you want to pursue your career success. So don't let old power struggles dictate your future. You're actually shedding a lot of ancestral patterns, you're healing your inner child wounds, and you're also making room for a more empowered vision of your legacy. So the following day, just know that the Sun is going to perfect its opposition to Pluto on the 25th of July. So you can expect some tension for sure, because it's opposing your chart ruler and it's squaring you by sign. But it's also going to change. It's a chance to fully step into your truth, even if it means letting something fall away in regards to home or career. So something needs to be balanced out, and some drama is going to be happening in your career, especially when on the 17th of July, Mars is gonna. Oops. I'm just a little bit distracted. My computer just gave me a notification. Normally I switch that off. So on July the 17th, Mercury is gonna station retrograde in your 10th house. So yeah, it's gonna place your career, leadership, and public perception under a very big review. Expect miscommunications with superiors. There can be changes in your title. There can also be a big rethinking of your goals happening during this time. And Mercury rules your 8th and also your 11th houses. And it's going to bring a theme of shared finances, business collaborations, group dynamics, and also watch for power struggles in the professional space, especially those that are rooted in unspoken resentments or something having to do with money, even money with friends. Yeah, it's like your internal transformation is guiding your external choices and not the other way around. So just know that on the 31st of July, there's going to be a Mercury Cazimi, and it's going to arrive with some clarity. Can be a revelation about career, a public message, or some decision point that will emerge that is going to clear the path ahead. So even if it's a bit of a more difficult month for you, my dear Scorpio, just know towards the end of the month that things will get better and you will gain more clarity. So good luck, my dear Scorpio. We have Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are going to have a full moon in Capricorn happening in your second house of income, second house of money, so finances, self-worth, resources, possessions. So yeah, full moons always bring a culmination or some sort of turning point about your money, about your material stability. And yeah, you might be finalizing a big purchase, you might be ending a job, you might be shifting the way you earn income, you might also be finalizing a new stream of income, or you maybe had both two streams of income and you let one go. It's also a possibility. And it's really an invite to ground your confidence and take your self-sufficiency very seriously. Saturn rules this full moon, and it's retrograding into your fifth house of money, of creativity, dating, and children. But the retrograde in the fifth house is connected to your second house of money. So maybe you're gonna need to spend some money on your children, maybe on dating a partner, maybe you want to have a new hobby, and maybe you spend some more money on that. So yeah, it's going to question you about you're willing to invest in something creatively or something romantically. So, and are you putting money into your passions, or are your passions costing more than you anticipated? And the challenge here is to align with what you own, earn, and what you value, with the risks that you're ready to take in love and money, or with the risks that you are taking some risks in regards to taking in more love and joy, and that being connected to money. And your chart ruler, Jupiter, is in Cancer, and that is in your 8th house of shared resources. It's also about psychological healing and very deep, intimate bonds. And while Jupiter isn't making any major aspects this month, its presence here really invites very deep emotional renewal and trust. And the full moon in Capricorn occurs in the opposite sign of Jupiter, and it's really highlighting how financial shifts might reflect deeper emotional transformation this month. So you might be receiving support from others, settling in debts, or reworking shared assets with your current partner. So on an emotional level, this is a powerful month to deepen your connection to your own vulnerability and to others. Jupiter in the 8th really encourages you to lean into intimacy, therapy, soul work, exploring the depths of your own shadow, and it's going to help you release the past and step into more abundance. Emotional intelligence is your greatest asset right now. Then you're going to have a new moon in your 9th, and the 9th house is about travel, higher learning, higher wisdom, higher education. It can also be about legal matters. It can be about your belief system. An excellent time to set intentions for studying something new, for planning a long distance trip, publish a book, or get into more deeper philosophy. However, the lunation opposes Pluto in your 3rd. So yeah, there are going to be some power struggles, there are going to be some intense conversations or mental overwhelm, and they all could challenge your new vision. So if you've been feeling a bit limited in what you can believe or pursue due to your environment, or there can also be some communication breakdowns, then it's your moment to break free. Just know that your worldview is evolving fast, and the new moon really wants you to align with that feels expansive, even if it means releasing an old mindset, changing something up in a toxic dynamic with a sibling or with a neighbor, or an outdated belief that's no longer empowering that you shed. At the same time, Mercury is going to go retrograde as well in Leo in your 9th house, and that's going to start on July the 17th, and it's going to encourage you to re-examine your travel plans, your educational goals, legal documents, and also your spiritual beliefs. So if you want to travel during this time, you can expect some delays for sure. It can also be some miscommunication happening in regards to traveling, or in regards to distant cultures. Mercury, of course, rules your 7th and your 10th house, so it's gonna directly affect your partnerships and career too at the same time. Possibly can bring back past collaborators, can also bring back past relationship issues or public statements that need some review. And also be mindful when signing documents, when speaking in public, or booking anything international. And if you travel with your partner to some new place, then you can have more disagreements. Travel with the partner to a place that you've already been before, with the both two of you. That's going to lessen the energy. And also know that this is a very potent period to reconnect with old mentors, old teachers, old educational projects. And you can also rediscover something that truly inspires your new set of beliefs. And just know that at the end of the month, Mercury Sun Cazimi will happen on the 31st of July, and that is gonna arrive with some clarity. So just sit with the questions before rushing towards the answers. They will come at the end of the month. So good luck, my dear Sagittarius. We have Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What's up, Capricorn? You are gonna have a full moon in your sign on the my God, I forgot. I'm having a brain fart. So on the 10th of July, of course. Oh my God, I just took a break here while recording these these readings. So I'm just need to get into it again. So Capricorn, you're gonna have a full moon in your sign on the 10th of July, and it's gonna happen at 18 degrees of Capricorn and 18 degrees, that is a Virgo degree. So double earth feature, and it's happening in your first house. It is the house of the sense of self, your identity, and also your vitality. And full moons always bring some kind of deep personal culmination. So yeah, it's your full moon of the year. It's a very profound moment of self-awareness and emotional reckoning that really spotlights how far that you've come and also how much you've matured in the past 6 months. So a very powerful time to reclaim your voice and also recalibrate your body, or acknowledge the work that you've done to rebuild your foundation over the last couple of months. And of course, this moon is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is your chart ruler, and it's now going to go retrograde in Aries in your 4th house 2 days after this full moon. So very, very important. It's at the bottom of the chart. The bottom of the chart is very emotional. It's about where you live, who you live with together, where is your place of residence. It's also your deep emotions. So yeah, it's actually an emotional core theme of this full moon is directly tied to Aries and the 4th house. So Aries in the 4th house, it is a home that needs a lot of action, a lot of passion, a lot of fire. And yeah, your evolution really requires emotional accountability. So you might be completing a home project. Maybe you've started renovating your home 6 months ago and now something is finished in that. Or maybe Saturn is going to refrain its influence because it goes retrograde. It depends on all your own personal planets, of course. These are general readings, not always easy to get them right for everyone, as everyone's chart is different. But completing a home project, returning to your roots, or emotionally closing out a very long chapter in your life. So expect heightened sensitivity, but also a lot of resilience. Saturn has its pros and its cons. You as a Capricorn rising know that all too well. So this is about reclaiming your power by grounding into what truly and truly supports and nurtures you at home as well. And by that, changing up your identity and make you feel comfortable within your own self. So the chart ruler, Saturn, the chart ruler of you and the ruler of this full moon, is going retrograde in your 4th house of roots and belonging. So yeah, the Saturn retrograde in Aries is really the defining undertone of your entire month. And as I should mention, it squares you by sign, and it also squares partnerships. It squares the rising sign and the descendant. So the 7th house, it is the house of partnership and the house of marriage. Whenever Saturn is all the way at the bottom of the chart, squaring the identity and the partnership, there's something huge that is going to shift in one or both of these areas. And it's also making an opposition to your career. So Saturn retrograde, your chart ruler, at the bottom of the chart, aspecting the 4 different important angles, means that your whole life can change or gets like under scrutiny or gets restructured right now. So that can be a lot, to be honest. But Saturn really asks you to slow down and also to rebuild your inner world with greater strength and awareness. The 4th brings up themes of emotional responsibility, family karma, and also can be about physical relocation. someone moving in, someone moving out, something gets changed into the foundation of your chart, so of your life. So you might feel pulled back into the past, and some are gonna feel great and big resistance towards that. Others are gonna revisit their childhood home, revisit family patterns, or can, well, definitely be about unresolved domestic matters. The desire to move forward might be very strong, but retrogrades really teach us to be patient. And you, as a Capricorn rising with Saturn as your chart ruler, you know all about patience. You are patient, you are stable, you are patient, you are in control, you are responsible, which are all key themes of Capricorn rising with Saturn as your ruling planet. But when it happens in the fourth house, can bring up a lot of emotions. So yeah, all the emotional wounds might require some time and revision right now. And Neptune then is also going to station retrograde in your fourth house, and then it's about illusions that will get. Allez, Neptune casts fog. It casts a spell. It casts a fog. It is misty in the fourth house. It's unclear what's going on, and yeah, illusions around what home means to you are dissolving. So yeah, there's a lot going on for you with these two bad boys going retrograde in your fourth house and your full moon. So Neptune, yeah, your task here with Neptune is really to clarify what security and belonging truly mean to you and build that from the ground up. While frustrating at times, Saturn retrograde is really an invitation to redefine safety on your own terms. So, not through control, but through emotional maturity. So, yeah. Not a very easy full moon, but because you as a Capricorn rising or sun or moon are already familiar with all these themes, I think you have great insight in what needs to be happening, at what needs to be restructured, at what needs to be removed or redone at home. So good luck. We're gonna look at the new moon for you, Capricorn. The new moon is gonna happen for you in Leo, and that's in the 8th house. And it's gonna happen on July the 24th, and it opens a whole new chapter in the deep, intense 8th house, which rules intimacy, shared resources, psychological transformation, but also emotional intensity. So yeah, and it's gonna oppose Pluto in your 2nd house, challenging you to let go of financial control or some rigid ideas about self-worth as well. And if you've been clinging to these old survival strategies, emotionally, materially, this new moon really marks the beginning of a very, very long-term shift. You're really being asked to trust the process of letting go of shared power, and also receiving deep support from another person. The 8th house and the 2nd house axis are the give and take axis, and it's about what you give. Is it being returned fully, or does something needs to be rearranged in that? The 8th house, like we marry in the 7th house. The 5th house is where we bump into our partner and we feel attraction and love and dating begins. That's the 5th house. But then the 7th house is where we sign a contract and suddenly we're married. And then the 8th house is a step deeper than the 7th house, because the 8th house is about how much does my partner work? How much does my partner bring to the table? How much do I go for groceries? How much does my partner go for groceries? How much sex do we have on I was gonna say daily basis, on a monthly basis, I don't know, but like that is the 8th house kind of area. The 8th house is way deeper. So, and it's in Leo, it's kind of dramatic for you, my dear Capricorn rising. But yeah, there's a challenge to let go of financial control, and also yeah, trust the process of letting go. That is like the whole thing, because the 8th house is the house of control. And whenever we have a new moon in that, we have a new start, and we need to plant a new seed in that area. So it can be about debts, inheritance, taxes, money from the government, child support, alimony, mortgages, all fall under the 8th house. So yeah, good news is that the Sun trines Saturn and Neptune shortly after the new moon. So it's going to help you ground your goals, and also you're going to ground your intuition in a practical structure. So just know that the 8th house is also the house of the occult mysteries of life. The 8th house is the house of the other side. So there can be some very, very creepy or mystical signs telling you how to move forward with that new moon. And then we also see a Mercury retrograde happening in the sign of Leo, also in your 8th house. So Mercury retrograde is going to start on July 17th, and it's really a call for a deep review of everything in regards to money and deep intimacy and contracts and power dynamics and the give and take, energetically, financially, but also physically. So it can be about all depths, literal depths, emotional depths. All these things might resurface, because when Mercury turns retrograde, it's about things from the past that need to be relooked or revised at. So Mercury also rules your 6th and your 9th house. And so expect some delays and confusion, some delays, some confusion that is going to involve your work schedule, your travel plans, can be about legal paperwork, because Mercury rules Virgo, the 9th house of legality, can also be about education. And guys, I'm going to warn you, and normally I try not to be too dramatic, but the new moon in Leo is quite dramatic on its own, because it opposes Pluto. Pluto is lord of the 8th house in traditional astrology. For you, it's kind of quite dramatic here. And with Mars conjunct the South Node in your 11th house, if I were to be a Capricorn rising, I would not travel. New moon in the 8th house. The 8th house is also the house of life and death. Life, death, sexuality, transformation, big, deep intensity is all part of the 8th house. And then we have a Mars conjunct the South Node. If you haven't looked at my introduction of all the transits for this month, please do it, because Mars conjunct the South Node is not an easy transit to deal with. It's about anger from the past. Pluto in Aquarius rules aviation. And the 9th house is about long distance travel. Mars conjunct the South Node, things breaking apart, fracturing, burning, bruises, getting hurt, all are part of Mars. So I would not get on a plane. I would not travel. I would not make any big decisions in regards to finances with a partner, finances with anyone else. It's actually also about investments. And normally when you have a new moon in the 8th house, it's perfect for shared finances and perfect for making a big new investment. But it's opposing Pluto in your 2nd house. Could go very wrong, to be honest. And with the Mercury retrograde, I would not marry anyone. I would not get together. I will not share my resources. There is going to be a big review in how you manage your shared resources. And it's going to start from July 17th until 3 weeks onward. Then you can make a decent decision. Because on the 21st of July, the Sun and Mercurius, Mercury, are going to come together and create a cazimi. And a cazimi, that means that Mercury is getting reborn into the heart of the Sun. It's going to be a big, big moment of clarity. So if you need to make a very, very big decision, make it on the 31st of July, not before that. But ideally, I would wait until middle of August, whenever the Mercury retrograde has ended. And normally I'm not so dramatic about the Mercury retrograde because we see it 3 times a year, and it's not that bad. It's about going inwards and just making a lot of reassessments. But for you, with all these things together, if you're going to make a very big investment right now, you're going to lose money. Mercury retrograde is going to be a review in how you manage your shared finances with a spouse, with a business partner, doesn't matter with who, but it's about something shared and something that grows by itself, something that you don't need to work for yourself. That is the 8th house. So something very big can change in that, and it can have dramatic effects on your own income, to be honest. Because Pluto in the 2nd house, it is money that you work for yourself. Then Mars conjunct the South Node in 9th, something in your belief system is going to switch. Something you have been pondering about, something that you have been over-analyzing about is going to get released around the 20th of July until the end of the month, but it is squaring Venus in your 6th. So yeah, that can be a little bit of frustration with women on a daily basis, or a female co-worker or something in regards to that. Just know that this retrograde and this new moon is really inviting you to reframe your beliefs about control, vulnerability, and interdependence or codependency. And as Mercury is going to oppose Pluto, then negotiations might become power plays over the next few weeks. Just wait until the 31st of July, and that is going to bring a breakthrough. Can be a financial revelation. Oh my God, I'm talking too much. It can also be about an emotional catharsis of some kind, or a contractual turning point that really guides you forward with a lot of fresh new insight. Not super easy for you, but you're cool, you're stable, you're grounded. You'll get there, Capricorn. So I wish you the best of luck. We have Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have the full moon in Capricorn, and it's going to be in your 12th house. It's the hidden realm of your own psyche. It's symbolizing rest, dreams, and also spiritual integration. So the lunation really invites you to retreat and to reflect, to pause, to take some time off. And it's spotlighting what needs closure in your subconscious world. Very powerful time to release emotional burdens, old behaviors, or mental patterns that quietly sabotage your vitality. And the moon is ruled by Saturn. So Saturn is actually your old or traditional chart ruler. It's now going to retrograde in Aries. So the focus really turns sharply to the mind, to the voice, to how you communicate, because Saturn goes retrograde along with Neptune in your 3rd house, the house of how we say things. So are you expressing your truth, or has fear or confusion kept your thoughts too bottled up? The full moon really asks you to rest, restore, let go of what no longer aligns with your evolving identity. It can be about psychic insights, profound dreams, and breakthroughs around forgiveness. All these things are very, very likely. So pay attention to your dreams, to your sleeping patterns. Maybe you need to go to bed earlier. Something gets shifted in your sleeping pattern as well. And of course, the rulers is Saturn and Uranus. Uranus is going to enter into Gemini on the 7th of July. Saturn is going to station retrograde in Aries on the 12th of July. Then after that, Neptune is going to go retrograde before Saturn. Like, so much is going on, Aquarius, this month, and they're all going to move backwards in your 3rd house of communication, learning, and local environment. So expect delays, expect revisions involving writing, contracts, siblings, and means of transportation. Can also be about tech. And also, Saturn urges you to slow down and also clarify how you communicate and absorb and process information, especially if recent conversations have felt foggy or emotionally loaded. As Neptune is also going to go retrograde here, and meanwhile, Uranus, your modern day ruler, makes like a big momentous ingress in Gemini on July 11th to 7th, and it's going to activate your 5th house of joy, creativity, romance, children. So yeah, this is the first big jolt of a longer revolution in your self-expression. Whether it's a surprising creative idea, maybe it's going to be a new love interest, that can definitely happen for you, my dear Aquarius rising, especially from the end of June until the first week of July. Some shakeup, some surprise, some shock in regards to love, and someone who you're dating is definitely possible. And can also be a desire to shake up your hobbies and the way how you receive pleasure. Uranus is saying, don't play it safe right now. The future really wants and needs your brilliance. Blah, blah. So your brilliance is very important. Make room and time for fun. With Uranus entering your 5th house in Gemini, it's gonna trine Aquarius sun, moon, or rising. So very, very potent, very, very cool, very good. Yeah, I love it for you, my dear Aquarius. Okay, then we have a new moon in Leo, and it's going to happen in your 7th house. Now, this is a lot less fun, but on the 24th of July, we're going to have a new moon in Leo, and it's going to oppose Pluto in your sign. That's going to be intense. It's going to be dramatic. I'm just warning you now. It's going to set the stage for new beginnings in partnerships, whether that's romantic, business, collaborative, and redefine what commitments mean to you, and what kind of people you truly want to walk beside. It opposes Pluto in your first, so power dynamics, ego clashes, and also personal transformation might stir up relationship tension. So what's happening in your life that's forcing you to evolve your role in relationships? You're not meant to remain the same, and neither are your partnerships. So that can create a little bit push and pull dynamic. But set these bold but heartful intentions around meeting someone new, or about recommitting to someone significant, or drawing clearer boundaries. You're really building towards partnerships that honor your individuality while also supporting your evolution. Then, on top of that, you're going to have a Mercury retrograde in Leo in your 7th house, emphasizing all the things I just mentioned about the Leo new moon. So, yeah, it's about revisiting relationship dynamics, communication patterns, and also your contracts with others. Can also be with clients, can also be with a therapist, can be with an astrologer. 7th house is close one-on-one relationships. So Mercury also rules your 5th and your 8th house. So really could involve creative partnerships, financial entanglements, can also be about romantic miscommunications, and also watch for old lovers resurfacing. They can give you or send you some confusing text. There can be some misaligned expectations. So yeah, a time to review and not to rush, and let relationship conversations unfold slowly. And if things feel off or too hard to pin down, that's okay. Clarity will come and emerge at the Mercury Cazimi, and that's going to happen on the 21st of July. And that is going to happen, this time is going to give you insights, and you may realize who and what is truly worth your emotional investments. So stay open to rediscovering love in surprising ways, but also be strong enough to let go if it no longer supports your growth, and it will be made very, very clearly to you. So good luck, my dear Aquarius. We have Pisces, sun, moon, or rising. You're gonna have the full moon in Capricorn happening in your 11th house of communities and friendships. And the full moon in Cap is gonna happen on July the 10th. And the 11th is about your social networks, your long-term dreams. And full moons are always about a sense of culmination and achievement in these group-oriented efforts. So group dynamics. Some are gonna celebrate a milestone with a friend. Others are going to step into a leadership role within a community. Or some others are going to finally see the results of visions you've been building towards all that time. And because the lunation is ruled by Saturn, because Saturn rules Capricorn, and will go retrograde 2 days after this full moon in your Aries second house. Themes around financial independence, self-worth, and aligning your goals with values will be very, very prominent. You might invest in something big this month, like a cause, a group project, or some future plan that really feels personally meaningful. And this lunation supports solidifying relationships that actually help you rise. The 11th house are like-minded people. So you need to walk away from social dynamics that really leave you feeling drained or undervalued. And I know you as Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising, you guys really, really feel that very, very strongly. So your chart rulers, Neptune and Jupiter, are actually, they were in a square for the month of June, so that could have been a bit more difficult to deal with. But your chart rulers are actually moving in opposite currents, and you might feel this tension in yourself all month. It's like it's just like something that's still lingering from June. So on July the 4th, Neptune will station retrograde in Aries in your second house of money, deep introspection and disillusionment in regards to money values and self-worth. And together paired with Saturn retrograde here as well, it's a very big period of dissolving illusions around your earning power, and also about rebuilding a sense of self and sense of real grounded self-worth. Simultaneously, Jupiter is your co-ruler. It has just entered Cancer, and it's an exaltation, which means that it loves to be there, and is now activating your 5th house of joy, creativity, and romance. So yeah, this is filled with emotional richness, creative breakthroughs, and the return of heart-centered pleasures. And oh my god, my cat is here. Come here, Patatje. Come. So, where was I? A desire to expand and express yourselves authentically. Allee, kom, zet je erbij. And it supports artistic projects, love affairs, and even pregnancy for you, for some guys. So you're clearing financial and emotional clutter to make room for a more abundant, joyful chapter. Allee, kom hier. Allee, zet je erbij. He's not gonna stop until I take him. So here he is. He's my little patatje. In English we say potato, but it sounds way cuter in Dutch. So then for my Pisces, we have the new moon, and that is gonna happen into the 6th house of work, wellness, routine. And it's going to open up a whole new cycle of wellness and having to look for your health. And we see that it's in the sign of Leo, so very loud, very confident. It's about children as well, children romance, all being infused in your day-to-day life and routine. So it's the moment to plant seeds around new habits. You might return to old wellness practice. Can also be a big revise about your work schedule, or how to reevaluate how you manage and cope with stress and service towards others. The lunation opposes Pluto in your 12th house, so you need to watch your mental and physical health immensely. Unhealed psychological patterns might be affecting your physical body or your daily effectiveness. So it's a time to detox spiritually, emotionally, but also physically. And what habits need to go so my life can feel lighter and more aligned. So this is actually your reminder to lead with discipline, with joy, and to also care for your own vessel, because it's so, so important during this time. The opposition to Pluto in the 12th is actually not that easy. There's going to be a lot of drama in the world. So I know you as a Pisces sun or rising, you can feel the weight of the world on your shoulders. With the new moon in the 6th and Mercury retrograde as well in the 6th, you will need to really block everything that's happening. Focus on your own physical and mental health, and don't let the things that happen outside of your control disturb your inner peace. Consider asking for help if you have difficulties. You might need to outsource tasks or simplify your schedule to reduce the chance at burnout. And with the Mercury retrograde in Leo in the 6th, it starts on July the 17th. It is a slowdown and a reconfiguration of your health, your work habits, and your schedule. So some of you might need to redo something in their schedule. Mercury rules also your 4th and your 7th houses. And this ties the retrograde to home dynamics, to partnership patterns, to miscommunications with roommates, with co-workers, or loved ones, and all these things might be behind. And it's going to happen especially if you feel overburdened. So yeah, declutter your routines, rework your communication with loved ones, and also organize your physical and emotional space. And if you've been procrastinating or making a doctor's appointment, asking for help, or managing chronic stress, then this retrograde brings those matters up front and center. And the Mercury cosimi that's going to happen on July the 31st is going to offer a lot of insight and clarity on what needs restructuring, so you can work smarter, not harder. So, my dear Pisces, rebuild your temple, starting with your calendar and also your body, and just make sure that you keep things in balance. So, yeah, that was it, my dear Pisces. So that's a wrap for my July 2025 Cosmic Chaos forecast. A lot of things are happening. Be wary and mindful the end of the month. From the 20th until the 30th, 31st, that there is a Sun Mercury cosimi that is going to offer clarity. And on the 20th of July, we're going to have a Mars conjunct the South Node, which is rather tense, to say at least. And if you made it through this without screaming into the void or only mildly roasting your ex during a Mercury retrograde, you're already winning, so don't do that. And also remember that not every surprise is a disaster, and not every retrograde is a breakdown. Sometimes it's just a very delayed breakthrough. So, and under Uranus in Gemini, it is here to shake it up, so you actually don't stay stuck. So stay flexible and also stay hydrated, because, our body will need extra care during the month of July. Also trust your gut, and also, if all else fails, just blame the stars, blame the Mercury retrograde, blame the Leo new moon. It's going to get a little bit tense. So I'll see you back here in August for a new forecast, a new monthly forecast, and where hopefully the planets are slightly less feral, probably, maybe, but I can't promise anything. And I'm very happy and think it's very cute that my cat decided to say hi to all of you. He's my sweetheart, and whenever things get too crazy, I just cuddle him, and he tends to like it a lot. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm wishing you all the best of luck for July. See you soon for Uranus and Gemini. That's going to be a big one. Bye-bye.